Once you've got the standing poses down, there's a whole list of seated sequence poses. Okay? Now, like I said this morning, there's nowhere to go with this practice. The beauty of the Ashtanga practice is that you can't, doesn't matter what poses that you, doesn't matter whether you can do a forward bend perfectly or whether you can do Baddha Konasana as well as you've seen in Yoga Journal, or whether or not you've got the most picture-perfect warrior pose or you can put your feet behind your head. There's always another pose. There's always another pose that you're going to be working towards. So if you start to see the poses as the goalposts keep moving. The hope is that as the carrot of the next pose is dangled in front of you, hopefully somewhere along the way you will find what it is that you're looking for in the process of yoga. Whatever that is. And it's going to be different for all of you. Okay? It's what yoga gives you. It's the enjoyment of the process of yoga, not arriving at a destination, that this practice is all about. So if we become attached to the poses, then we might as well be still attached. We might as well still be attached to having the best sales figures at work, or whatever the other attachments were that we left behind when we came to yoga class. Okay? So it works in a twofold way, the Ashtanga practice. It actually gives you structure. The structure that it gives you is really important, because the structure means you can't avoid things. Okay? And it's the avoidance of things that causes the problems in the long run. It gives you structure, and when you have structure, you can then find freedom. Freedom doesn't exist without structure. Now you can have pseudo-freedom. You can think, I want to be free in my yoga practice. I want to do this pose, this pose, this pose, this pose, and this pose. Okay? And you might think that that's freedom. But if your soul was honest with you, if you listen to your body, it's not really. This freedom comes from stability. Okay? There's always structure in freedom. In the same way that you might see a bird in the sky, and the bird's soaring on the thermals, you think, that bird is free. Well, actually, the bird isn't free at all. The bird is working within constraints, and the constraints it's working in is the air, thermals, currents, wind, wingspan, feathers. All of these things are part of what gives it the freedom. So the Ashtanga practice, the Ashtanga Vinyasa practice, is giving you the opportunity to experience real freedom rather than avoidance freedom. And it's quite subtle. But once you've got a taste for it, you keep coming back. And that's why it's so powerful. Because you can, hang on a minute, there's something to this practice that I don't seem to be getting in some of the other classes or schools of yoga that I've looked at.